It is Friday, November 20th, 2009. We're going to be live here for the next 4 hours. And we're simulcasting from the very beginning of the radio show at prisonplanet.tv and Living Color. Why am I doing that today? Because we've got the infomercial king and so much more, the alternative a medicine king. I mean, you name it. Kevin Trudeau. People in the office, when he's been walking around this morning, are just standing there with their mouths hanging open. He's with us in studio for the first hour because that was the only hour he could do. He's meeting with some scientists and researchers here in Austin as he travels around the country and the world investigating alternative treatments and cures. So he's here with us in studio. He has won his appeal against the federal government, a big victory for free speech because he's one of the few Americans to ever have his books banned and to have his free speech banned by a federal court. And, of course, they lost because we are saving this republic before it completely falls. So we're going to talk about the food supply, vaccines, gold, the inside info he has on that front, how he won his appeal, and where Kevin Trudeau is going from here, and some of the amazing medical information that he's been discovering in his world travels. Then we've got Neil Fallon, the lead singer and guitarist for Clutch. A lot of listeners of ours are fans. I'm a fan. Their lyrics are totally anti-New World Order. Of course, we know that Megadeth just named their new album after Endgame. We had Dave Mustaine on to talk about that. So the culture war is on, and it's not left or right. It's about liberty versus tyranny. And then Bob Chapman with his once-a-week visit with us on the economy. Certainly an important discussion we're going to be having today. And I got some bad news for you. The good news is Kevin Trudeau's here. The bad news, we told you, Senate health vote set for Saturday night. The debate starts. They can pass it anytime next week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the criminal bankers hijacking another 17th percent of the U.S. economy. Kevin Trudeau, thanks for being here with us.
Hey, my pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you. We're about to go to break, but in the 2 minutes we've got left, tell folks about some of the info you're going to be sharing with us today.
Well, the first thing is, I have been really the first guy that the federal government said, we want to take away his First Amendment rights. And they went to the judge and said, we want his books banned. This is what the federal government, the Federal Trade Commission, and the reason why they're trying to ban the books, and they actually got the judge to take me off television, radio, and the internet. I can't exercise my First Amendment rights for 3 years, was because 50 million people have purchased my books where I exposed the corruption in government and the drug companies, the banking industry, and the fast food industry, and how it all works together with the media. The good news is I won the appeal. The appeals court vacated the $37 million fine that the judge threw on me, and they vacated the 3-year ban. But now we're back in court, and now the Federal Trade Commission is asking the judge in their papers, we want the First Amendment rights for Kevin Trudeau taken away for life.
Wow.
And it's really amazing. So I'll be fighting that for probably the next year.
But when you say you're the first person in modern history, I guess some of that happened during World War I with the Trading with the Enemy Act, to say silence this guy, and I've read their court filings. It's been all over the national news the last few years for listeners that don't know, where they really say you are enemy number one and must be shut down because they know if they can knock off the king of alternative information on television, then they can go after everybody else.
And what it's done is it scares everybody else. Because of the attacks on me, I don't mind the fight. And luckily, I've had the financing to spend virtually tens of millions of dollars over the years fighting them. But everybody else in the industry is just scared like rabbits. So they are going back into their hole. So the government is using this to scare everybody else and stop them from doing. But they won't go after Pfizer. I mean, Pfizer was fined criminally four times, and recently just fined $2.7 billion for criminal fraud in the marketing of their drugs. That's not front page news. No one even talks about it. They were fined 4 times for criminal fraud, but guess what? Not a single person at Pfizer was charged.
Let's go over your case and how important this is for the First Amendment. Whether you love Kevin Trudeau or hate him, and I happen to like him, you've got to ask yourself, why is the government and the media so angry with this person? And we'll discuss all that on the other side of this quick break.